Hi everyone. In today's lesson, we're going to solve more rational equations. So same directions as yesterday. Solve all values of x and be sure to check for what we call extraneous solutions. Remember, extraneous solutions or extraneous roots is where the fraction is undefined. So undefined values. All right. So let's first find them and then we can solve. So remember, to find the undefined values, we're going to set each of these denominators equal to 0 and we're going to solve. So we have y plus 2 equals 0, that first one right here. We're going to solve by subtracting 2 on both sides. We get y equals negative 2. Second one is y squared minus 4 equals 0. I see that this is dots, so I could write this as y minus 2 and y plus 2. And I can do a t-chart here. So y minus 2 equals 0 and y plus 2 equals 0. Remember that we can solve these quickly by adding 2, subtracting 2, and we get y equals 2 and negative 2. And then the last one, y minus 2, we're going to set equal to 0. And you should see that's kind of the same as what we just did. If we add 2 to both sides, 0 plus 2 is 2. So my undefined values are negative 2, 2, negative 2, and 2. So it's okay that we're repeating. So mainly just the ones, I guess, that are the same are 2 and negative 2. So we're looking for those values to reject. So exactly like we did yesterday, we're going to factor any denominators that can be factored first. The only piece that can be factored here is this y squared minus 4. We can make that y plus 2 and y minus 2. Same as we did here. This is dots, difference of two squares. So the denominator that we need, this piece has a y plus 2. Actually, I'll use the same colors as before. Let's say y plus 2 is yellow. Y plus 2 is yellow. So this one needs a y plus 2 in order for it to be the same. So y plus 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And then the next one is y minus 2. So I see a y minus 2 here, a y minus 2 here. So this one needs a y minus 2. And whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And then once I find that least common denominator, I can cross it off. So I'm going to cross off the denominator, and I'm going to set the tops equal. So whatever I have left on the top. So let's write it the way that we see it. So 4 times y minus 2 plus 1 equals 1 times y plus 2. So I can distribute the 4. So 4y minus 8 plus 1. And if I distribute this 1, we're just going to be left with y minus 2. And the goal, set it equal to 0. So these two I can combine, the negative 8 and the 1. So that's actually negative 7. And I have a y plus 2. I'm going to subtract the y and subtract the 2 to get it equal to 0. So 4y minus 1y is 3y. 7 minus 2 is 9. And I can factor this by taking out a GCF of 3. And I'm left with y minus 9 divided by 3 is 3 equals 0. I can do a t-chart now and set each piece equal to 0. So 3 equals 0 makes no sense. We can reject that. And then y minus 3 equals 0. So add 3 to both sides, and we get y equals 3. So that is it. That is my final answer. I did not get 2 or negative 2, so that's excellent. I don't have to reject anything, so I can keep my y equals 3. All right, let's try one last problem. So directions are the same. Solve and check for extraneous solutions. So let's first find those undefined values. So I'm going to take each of the denominators and set them equal to 0. So let's start with the x plus 3. So x plus 3 equals 0. I can solve by minusing 3 on both sides, and I get x equals negative 3. The 4 minus x, I can set equal to 0. I can add x to both sides, which would make things simpler. So x is equal to 4. And then I have x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. So I know I can solve that by AM because my leading coefficient is 1. So what multiplies to negative 12? That adds to 1. So those will be negative 4 and positive 3. And I can do a t-chart again. So x minus 4 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. I can add 4 to both sides. So x is equal to 4. I can subtract 3 on both sides. So x is equal to negative 3. So it looks like I've got some repeaters, and that's okay. So I've got negative 3 and 4, which happens to be the same here. So if I get either of these two values, I have to reject one. So how do we solve? We need to have the same denominator. So let's rewrite these factors just like we did over here. So x minus 4 and x plus 3. So let's start with that one. So I have an x plus 3 over here and an x plus 3 over here. So it appears that this middle guy needs the x plus 3 as well. And whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do to the top. Now the next one is an x minus 4. So it appears that this one has nothing. So this one needs an x minus 4. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Now, this middle guy has a 4 minus x. It's not entirely the same as x minus 4, but remember the trick is that all we need to do is multiply it by a negative 1, and it actually is the same as x minus 4. So if I take 4 minus x, multiply it by this, I do in fact get that. So basically, this with this combines to give me the x minus 4. So I have to remember, whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So negative 1 on the top as well. So now that the denominator is the same, I can cross it off and focus on my numerators. So let's write down what we have. So 2 times x minus 4 minus 3 times x plus 3 times negative 1 equals 2x minus 2. So let's distribute. This times this gives me 2x minus 8. Now, this is the piece that's going to be a little confusing. We need to do this times this times this, and then subtract it. So my suggestion to make it easier is make this plus a negative 3. So that way, when you simplify it, you can multiply the negative 3 and the negative 1, and that will give us positive 3. And then we're going to multiply that by the x plus 3. And then we can distribute and make it 3x plus 9. So it's much cleaner if you make the subtraction adding a negative. Otherwise, you might have trouble with the signs. So let's bring down the rest and simplify to solve. So my like terms over here are the 2x and the 3x, which gives me 5x. Negative 8 and 9 add together to give me 1. And I have 2x minus 2 over here. And then we're going to set it equal to 0. So minus 2x and adding 2. So 5x minus 2x is 3x. And 1 plus 2 is 3. And we're going to factor. So it appears I could take a GCF out of 3. And when you divide them, the 3's cancel. So x plus 1, 3 divided by 3 is 1. And you're going to do a t-chart. So 3 equals 0 doesn't make any sense. And x plus 1, I can subtract 1 on both sides and get x equals negative 1. Which, in fact, since negative 1 was neither of these two, I get to keep it. So if you want to write that down, you can. So since x equals negative 1 does not equal x equals -3 or x equals 4, I do not need to reject. Do not need to reject it or reject the solution. All right, so that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, now's a good time to jot them down and ask us in class tomorrow. All right, have a good night.